Hello, I want to welcome you again to the Meacham Conversations, and today we have Allison Hedge Coke all the way from Riverside, California, and many other places too. We usually begin with having you read a poem and go from there.
Okay, thank you. You want me to read now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Measuring Up, and it's from my collection, Streaming. Measuring Up. It wasn't socks missing from his feet, not elbow cloth unraveled unilaterally, not equal displacement of chin and brow, nor the eye that sat a little bit lower on the right. It was his knuckle that made me weep. Clove corners gone wayside, like minuscule meat hooks, clawed away bits of him, each shift he made. Invisible, a timelessness unfurled. It was his muscle torn through, festering, the prosthetic hand, finger with dismay, all across his attempted grin, left there just like that, for anyone to see. It was his mercy. In the end, we're rarely beautiful, mostly placed away from compromising situations into poses offsetting what has become of us in some gawker's unnerving eyes. Yet he is still here in mine, and I'm human because of it. Maybe, only maybe.
Oh. Questions of identity.
Yeah.
What prompted that?
It's a literal poem, walking by a corpse on a sidewalk and a neighborhood I was living in on a Saturday morning, and it was clear the person had worked at the meat packing plant because of the hands, and had lost a hand at one time, and the other one had the cuts that you would get in that kind of work. So it was evident, his life was evident looking at the corpse, and at the same time watching the people that were there suddenly on scene to take care and investigate and such, and almost sort of posing him in ways that made me think about what happens when we pass and we're not necessarily in the place you would want to be, like on a sidewalk somewhere, and the gawkers come, and felt myself also in that sort of human moment of noticing the passing and then trying to investigate the human there. And feeling the gawker part of you is also unnerving. So much of humanity is unnerving. It was just that moment, so just a little take of witnessing.
It also reminded me, there's a book by John Berger on art, and how when we look at an art thing, or anything really, it's also looking at us. And I got the sense of him kind of looking at you as you were relating that. And that's kind of unnerving in a way, but it also goes to what makes us what we are. I mean, how we're observed in the world and everything. Oh, wow. That's, where did that occur?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
You've been all over, really.
I've been all over.
Where did you originate from?
My family is fairly spread out. Traditionally, we come from Western North Carolina on one side of my family, and that side of the family has spread out all the way across Arkansas, Oklahoma, part of Texas, eastern Colorado, and now California. And my northern side of my family is Quebec to Alberta, but different lines have come to the state. My mom's from Morley, Alberta.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was upper middle.
Canada. Well, she worked in Toronto after World War II in the war factory as a war widow. So maybe it was a story from there. It might have been that. It might have been that.
How has all that affected you? I mean, it's like most of the country is really
and we lived with all of our relatives at one time or another. My mother had schizophrenia and was in and out of hospitals, and so of course social services thought men couldn't raise kids and they want to take us, and we get placed with other relatives sometimes and sometimes not. But I came of age and grew up primarily in North Carolina, left home fairly young because of circumstances, and was a sharecropper by the time I was 15 in bright leaf tobacco in North Carolina. I got my first allotment at 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so no high school for me. I was a field worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back in a homeland, which was also good, and we were raised with that knowledge as well. And yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's crucial, I think, about your work is this kind of really deep concern with others, with the other,
Thank
whoever, whatever that happens to be.
Thank you.
And you had also mentioned, when I see this as a natural outgrowth of that, is this anthology that you're working on.
Yeah.
So talk a little about that.
Well, I made a commitment early on when I saw how hard it was for the field to recognize certain voices, that I would publish an anthology at least for every book that I did that was my authorship. So I've been doing that the whole time, and I actually have published more anthologies than my own books because I get caught up in that.
Yeah.
So I have 10 anthologies out to date and 6 poetry books, so I should go back the other way. But I just put out a new anthology, and I asked Craig Santos Perez, who is Chamorro from Guam, and Brandy and Neilani McDougall, who's Kanaka Maoli from Hawaii, to co-edit with me this time, and we've released 4 new Pacific Island female poets debut books in the collection. So it's in a series I do called Effigies, and I'll take 4 or 5 Native female voices debut books and put them together as one anthology. So we're releasing a crew of new poets together.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm really happy about it being in the world. Thanks for asking.
That is,
It's Effigies 3. It's with Salt Publishing in the UK, but it's global release. Penguin Random House does the distribution here. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So what else are you working on?
I'm on a federal project. I had a contract last year, and I have 2 more years of federal project with the Veterans Administration, National Cemetery Administration. Created about 30 graduate fellowships and a handful of undergraduate fellowships to work with storing Riverside National Cemetery. So our students go work with like 2,000 K-12 kids in a year. To teach the kids to research, write poetry and stories that tell the lives of the people interred there, most of which they end up being related to or neighbors of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're actually researching their own genealogies. Oftentimes it's interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
So we've been doing that for a year. It's in a wonderful federal project called Legacy that comes out of VA National Cemetery Administration Education, and I'm speaking to Congress on May 1st regarding the program in DC, and we're midway in our 2nd year, so I'm really happy about it. We shoot about 9 films during the process, create an anthology, and then I created a GIS app, and we mapped the cemetery, and the children's stories go at the stones, so they're attached to them, so someone from anywhere can research and find these kids' stories.
It's amazing. You know, one's almost tempted to ask if you sleep.
I try to.
So many
I nap.
projects and things
I do
going
nap.
on. And you teach, too.
I teach
How does teaching affect your own work?
Yeah, it makes me communicative with other human beings. I'm really reclusive by nature, and when I studied at Vermont College years ago with great poets such as yourself, thank you, I was still really shy, and it was very difficult for me to break out of that, and teaching did it for me. And I thank my students all the time. I say,
me
I
too,
learned how to be with people, with teaching you guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a good thing. And you hear remarkable things from students.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They teach us as much
They
as...
do.
They don't know it, but
They
they
don't
do.
know, but constantly. There was a student reading from here last night, and there was 2 words in the student reading last night, and it was fatal blue as a description of a type of blue, and I still couldn't get over it
Fatal
this
blue,
morning,
yeah.
and I
That's
thought somebody
fantastic.
should tell this kid.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Beautiful things that we hear from them. Yeah.
Well, okay. I want to thank you for being with us. And
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much.